Welcome to Lucky English for Beginners.
It's great to be here, and today we have a mission. It sounds simple, but I think anyone who's ever learned English knows it's a big one.
We certainly do. I was looking through our materials for today's deep dive, and it's not just grammar guides. We have emails from listeners, common mistake lists, and it hit me that we're not really talking about two little words today. We're talking about time.
We are talking about time. It's that fourth dimension, and in language, it can be the hardest one to get right. I mean, philosophers argue about it, physicists try to measure it, and, well, English learners just get a headache from it, usually.
Exactly. And that's the pattern I see in all the feedback. People get their nouns, they feel okay with their verbs, but the second they have to connect the past with right now, specifically with for and since, all that confidence just kind of poof, it vanishes. It's a real stumbling block.
Oh, it's a massive one. I'd say it's easily in the top three most confusing points for learners, because for and since are like twins, but they're not identical.
Right.
They appear in the same kinds of sentences, but they have totally different jobs. And if you mix them up, you're not just making a little grammar mistake, you're actually confusing the entire timeline of your story.
And that's what we're aiming for today. We want to get our listeners and you listening right now from that pause, that moment where you're translating in your head.
Yeah, that hesitation.
We want to move you from that to a place where it just feels right. The goal is to master time.
Mastery is the goal. And we're going to do it step by step. We'll look at the grammar rule, of course. We'll look at the common mistakes, the sort of danger zones. And then we're going to do something a bit different. We're going to just immerse ourselves in examples.
The mega drill. I'm looking at the list right now. We have 100 sentences ready to go for later. It is going to be a workout.
It has to be. You can't learn this just by reading a rule in a book. It's like, you can't learn to ride a bike by reading about gravity. You have to get on the bike. You need to hear the correct rhythm over and over until the wrong way just sounds wrong.
I love that. Like tuning an instrument. We're tuning the ear today. So before we can even talk about for and since, we have to set the stage. We need the foundation. And that foundation is a specific verb tense, isn't it?
That's right. These two words, they don't just float around in space. They live inside a grammatical house. And that house is the present perfect simple.
The present perfect. The name alone sounds intimidating. Perfect. Like you can't make a mistake. So let's break it down. Why this tense? Why can't I just say, I lived here for 5 years?
That is the perfect question to start with. The past simple, I lived, is like an old photograph. It's a snapshot of something that is completely finished. I lived in Paris in 1990. That story is over.
It's in the past. Done.
Done. But the present perfect, think of it as a bridge.
A bridge. Okay, I like.
It's a bridge that actively connects a point in the past to right now, to the present moment. When you use it, you're telling the listener that something started back then, but it's still true, or it's still happening now. The connection is still live.
So if I say, I have lived in Paris, what does that mean?
It means the story isn't over. You probably still live there. The action is continuing. The bridge is still open for traffic. That's the key idea for today.
Okay, so let's look at how to build this bridge. The formula, what's the structure?
It's actually pretty simple. It's a three-part structure.
Yeah.
First, you need your subject, I, you, she, they.
Right.
Then you need a helper verb. Either have or has.
Has for he, she, it.
Correct. And finally, you need the past participle of your main verb. Usually that's the A form, like lived or studied.
Subject, have or has, past participle. Okay, let's just hear a couple of basic examples to get that rhythm in.
Let's use a classic one. I have lived here.
I have lived here. I, subject, have, helper, lived, participle. Makes sense.
And if we're talking about someone else.
She has studied English.
Perfect. And because we're using that tense, she has studied. We know her English studies are still relevant. Maybe she's still in class or she just finished. There's a connection to now.
It's not just history, it's current.
Exactly. So once you have that structure, you basically have the car. Subject plus have plus participle. That's your vehicle.
Yeah.
But for and since, the GPS, they tell us where we are in time.
Love that. Okay, the engine is running. Time to navigate. Let's pull up the first destination, the world of FOR.
The world of for.
My notes here say that for is all about duration, but what does that really mean when I'm saying?
It means you are answering the question, how long? When you use for, imagine you're holding a ruler or a stopwatch. You are measuring the length of time.
So I'm not pointing to a specific date.
Not at all. You are counting the units. Minutes, Hours, days, years, decades. You're measuring a quantity of time.
It's like a container of time.
A box is a perfect way to think about it. It's a quantity. 5 years, 3 months, 10 minutes. If you can count it, you use 4.
Okay, let's get practical. Most of our listeners are studying or working, so let's start there. How does 4 work in that context? Here's an example. I've lived here for 5 years.
Okay, for 5 years. Notice what's missing there.
Yeah.
We have no idea when you started living there. It could be 2019, it could be 2010. The speaker isn't focused on the start date. They're focused on the amount, the volume of time. 5 years is a long time.
It's about the feeling of that length. Okay, that's a really helpful way to think of it. It's the volume. What about this one? She has studied English 3 months.
For 3 months. A very clear, specific duration. A 3-month-long box of time.
And a heavier one. They have worked together for a decade.
For a decade. Now, a decade is a specific amount, 10 years, but we say it as a single unit. It works just like saying for 10 years. It tells you about the stability of that relationship, the endurance.
And one more for the students out there. He has studied law for 4 years.
For 4 years. Again, you can feel the investment of time in that sentence. The duration is the most important piece of information.
Okay, so that's work and study. But what about, everyday life? Waiting for a bus, being sick. Does the rule hold up?
The rule is absolute. It doesn't matter if it's a university degree or a simple cold. You are always measuring the duration. So take this example. He has been sick for 2 days.
For 2 days, a 48-hour period of feeling unwell, a duration. Okay.
And what about that universal human experience of waiting? We have waited for so long.
Hold on a second. So long isn't a number. I can't count that on my fingers.
That is a fantastic observation. You're right. Words like so long or ages or a while, they aren't precise numbers, but they still describe a period, a duration. It's just a vague one.
So they're like fuzzy boxes of time.
Exactly. They're still treated as duration, so you absolutely use 4 of them. You can say, I have waited here for ages, and it's perfect English.
For ages. I like that one. And for a more specific wait time, I have waited for an hour.
For an hour. The unit is 1 hour. So if we had to create a catchphrase for our listeners, a little rule to chant on their heads, it would be this. 4 tells the period of time.
4 tells the period of time. If you're counting, use 4.
Got it. Okay, I feel good about the ruler. Now let's put the ruler down and pick up a calendar. It's time for since.
The world of since. This one is for pointing.
Pointing. I like that. So if 4 answers how long, who, what question does since answer?
Since answers from when.
From when?
Yes. Imagine that timeline again. With since, you're not measuring a length. You are putting a single pin into the timeline. You're marking the exact starting point, the origin.
The origin story. Okay, let's use the same examples and see how the feeling changes. Instead of for 5 years, I'll say, I have lived here since 2018.
Since 2018. See the difference?
Yeah.
Now, the listener has to do the math in their head to figure out the duration. You aren't giving them the total. You're giving them the precise start date. It feels more anchored.
Anchored. That is the perfect word. It feels like a fact on an official document, resident since 2018.
Exactly right. Or the language student. She has studied English since January.
Since January.
Okay.
The pin goes on January in the calendar.
And our poor sick friend. He has been sick since Monday.
Since Monday. That's interesting. To me, since Monday almost sounds worse than for 2 days. It makes me picture that specific moment when the sickness began.
It does. It emphasizes the journey from that starting point of misery.
Now, here's where it gets interesting for me. Since isn't just for numbers and dates, is it? The starting point can be an event.
Oh, absolutely. The starting point can be any life event or a stage of life. This is where since can be very powerful and even poetic.
These examples sound like they're from stories, like this one. We have known each other since childhood.
Since childhood. Childhood is not a date, but it's a very clear starting point in someone's life story. It's the dot on their personal timeline.
It implies such a long, deep history. Or how about this? She has cooked for the family since her marriage.
Since her marriage. The wedding day, that event, is the starting point for that action.
And one for the athletes. He has played football since high school.
Since high school. Again, that period of life is the anchor. So the catchphrase for this one, the other side of the coin, is since tells the starting point in the past.
Okay, so 4 is the ruler. It measures the length. Since is the pin. It points to the start.
You've got it. Those are the 2 tools. Now for the most important part. Let's put them side by side. We'll call this the great comparison.
I think this is where it all clicks into place for people. When you see them
Yeah.
together, the logic is just so clear.
Okay, let's take a common situation. Learning English. You could say, I have studied English for 2 years.
Okay, that's option A, a 2-year duration.
Or you could say, I've studied English since 2023, assuming it's 2025 now.
So factually, those two sentences mean the exact same thing.
They describe the identical reality. But, and this is where we get into the nuance, they frame that reality in slightly different ways.
Okay, how so?
The first one, for 2 years, it emphasizes the effort, the amount of time. It's like you're saying, look at this big block of time I've invested. It focuses on the process. Right. And the second one, since 2023.
That feels more like a factual record. I began in that year. It's more about the starting date. It's a subtle difference, but as you become a more advanced speaker, you start choosing which one better fits the story you want to tell.
That's fascinating. So if I'm complaining about waiting for someone, I should probably use for to be more dramatic.
100%. I have waited for 3 hours. Sounds way more frustrated than I have waited since 2 p.m.
Since 2 p.m. sounds like a police report.
Exactly. For 3 hours sounds like a real complaint. It's a pro tip. Use for drama.
Okay, let's do one more comparison. Living somewhere. I have lived here for 5 years.
Okay, a 5-year block of time.
Versus, I have lived here since 2018.
The year of arrival. Again, both are correct. The speaker just has the freedom to choose their emphasis.
Freedom is great, but with freedom comes the chance to make mistakes. And now we must enter the danger zone.
The danger zone. This is where habits from a speaker's first language often cause trouble.
I hear this all the time. I'm going to act like a student for a moment. Imagine I'm speaking English, but I'm thinking in my native language. Teacher, hello. I am living here since 5 years.
Ooh, ouch. Yes, I can almost feel the grammatical pain there. I am living here since 5 years.
It sounds so friendly, though. What's wrong with it? A native speaker would understand me.
They would understand you, absolutely. But that sentence has two, let's call them car crashes, happening at the same time.
2. Okay, what's first one?
Crash number 1 is since 5 years. Let's go back to our rule. Is 5 years a starting point or a duration?
It's a duration, a length. I can count it.
So you can't use since. You must use
4. Okay, for 5 years, what's the second crash?
the verb I am living. That's the present continuous tense. That tense is only for this exact second. I am talking to you. You are listening. It has no past. It can't hold history.
But I am living here right now. It's true.
It is true that you are living here now, but you are trying to connect that now to the 5 years of history. The present continuous is too weak for that. You need the bridge. You need the present perfect.
So I have to get rid of am and use have.
Exactly. The correct sentence is, I have lived here for 5 years.
Okay, let me try another common one. This one uses the present simple. I study here since 2020.
Ah, yes. I study. That's
Yeah.
present simple, which we use for routines or facts. The sky is blue. I study. But since 2020 is a very specific link to the past. The verb and the time phrase are fighting each other.
It's like they're from different worlds.
They are. You can't use a verb for timeless facts with a phrase that points to a specific start time in the past. You need the bridge again. I have studied here since 2020.
So the big takeaway from the danger zone is when the words for or since pop into your head, your brain should immediately think have or has.
That is the best reflex you can build. Think of for and since as best friends with have and has. They should always go to the party together.
Okay, I think that really clears it up. But in a real conversation, I might panic. I might forget the ruler and the pen. Do you have a super simple, quick memory trick for us?
I do. And it's a physical one. It involves your hands. When you think of 4R, I want you to think of counting on your fingers. 1, 2, 3 years. For how long? You can count it.
Okay, counting for.
And when you think of since, I want you to point with your finger. Point to a date on a calendar on the wall. Since. From when? You point to the start.
Count for 4, point for since. I like that. It's simple. It's visual.
And it works. If you can count the time, it's 4. If you're pointing to a moment, it's since.
Perfect. We've done the theory. We've navigated the danger zones. Now it's time to put our listeners to the test.
It's time for some interactive speaking practice.
Okay, this is the part of the show where you, our listener, have to participate. Don't just listen. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to literally press pause on your device and say your answer out loud.
Speaking it out loud is so important. Your brain needs to hear it, and your mouth needs to feel the shape of the words. I have.
Ready. Question number 1. Think about your own English journey. How long have you studied English? Go ahead, pause the audio, and answer using for.
Okay, we're back. Hopefully you said something like, I have studied English for 2 years, or maybe for 6 months. The important thing is, did you use I have studied and for?
All right, question number 2. Think about where you live. Have you lived in your city for a long time? Pause the audio and give us an answer.
You could have answered, yes, I have lived here for a long time, or maybe, yeah, I have lived here for 10 years, or even, no, I have lived here for only 3 weeks.
Okay, last one. Listen carefully to the question. Since when have you been learning English? Pause now and answer using since.
And we hope your answer pointed to a specific time, something like, I have been learning since 2022, or I have been learning since I was in high school.
And hey, if you stumbled, if you said, I'm living by accident, that's completely okay. That's exactly why we're doing it.
Knowing you made the mistake is the first step. And to help make it automatic, we're now going to do something, well, a bit intense.
It's time for the mega drill.
We have prepared 100 example sentences, 50 using for and 50 using since.
We're not just going to read a list that's boring. We're going to go through them in small groups by theme and talk about them a little. First up, 50 sentences with FOR. Remember, everyone? Duration, the ruler, counting time.
Let's start with a very common theme for duration, time and waiting. Sentences about the slow passage of time.
Okay, first one. I have waited for an hour.
You can feel the frustration in that, can't you? A 1-hour block of waiting.
Next, he has driven for 6 hours.
Wow, 6 hours. That's a long drive. A clear duration.
I have looked for my keys for half an hour.
We've all been there. That panics 30-minute search.
We have worked so long.
There's that vague duration again. Not a number, but still a period.
They have stayed silent for...
Even a short duration like minutes can feel really long in an awkward silence.
I have stayed at home for the weekend.
A nice, relaxing duration. A box of time from Friday evening to Sunday night.
We have waited for the results for days.
The anxiety in that sentence comes from the length of the wait. 4 days.
She has been online for hours.
That feeling when you look up from your phone and realize a huge chunk of time is gone.
I have been awake for 20 hours.
A very long, tiring duration.
He has been in the hospital for 3 days.
You're measuring the length of his stay, a 3-day period.
And the last one in this group, I have searched for the file for hours.
I just hear the tiredness. Ford is great at emphasizing that feeling of time dragging on.
It really is. Okay, let's shift gears to something a bit more positive. Relationships and people.
Right. How we measure the time we've spent with others.
We have known each other for a long time.
A beautiful sentence. It implies a really strong connection built over a long duration.
They have been married for 10 years.
That's a milestone. A decade. Specific amount of time.
We have been friends for ages.
I love for ages. It's so warm and informal, but it communicates such a long, strong friendship.
She has cooked for the family for years.
That shows her dedication. The action is measured in a duration of years.
She has worked hard for her family for years.
Very similar. It's about long-term commitment.
They have lived in this city for a decade.
After a decade, you're not a visitor anymore. You're a local.
We have talked for too long.
That sounds like me on the phone with my mom. A very relatable duration.
He has lived abroad for 6 years.
A significant period of his life spent in another country.
They have traveled for many months.
The dream of a long backpacking trip.
We have stayed here for a week.
A shorter duration, but still measured with for. You notice how for in this context can feel like a badge of honor. Married for 10 years. It proves the strength and length of the commitment.
It really does. Okay, let's keep that idea of commitment and move to our next cluster, work and skills.
The time we invest in our careers and hobbies.
She has taught at the school for 8 years.
A solid 8-year duration of teaching.
He has worked remotely for 2 years.
Very modern. The pandemic changed work for many people.
She has served in the company for 15 years.
That's real loyalty. A 15-year period.
They have practiced yoga for months.
Building a new, healthy habit over a duration of months.
He has studied law for 4 years.
We heard that one before. A typical length for a degree.
She has studied English for 3 months.
She's a beginner, but she's been at it for a clear period.
They have worked together for a decade.
A strong working relationship.
She has practiced piano for years.
You can't become a great pianist overnight. It takes years.
They have trained for months.
Getting ready for a big competition or a marathon?
They have prepared for the exam for months.
The long, hard work before a final test?
We have practice.
And that's exactly what we hope you are doing.
They have planned this event for months.
Good events take a lot of time to prepare.
I have worked here for a short time.
See, the duration can be long or short. It doesn't matter.
He has driven that car first.
It must be a reliable car.
I have used this phone for...
Maybe it's time for an upgrade.
He has saved money for a year.
A year-long period of being financially responsible.
He has played football for his entire life.
Wow, that's the ultimate duration. It's not a number, but it's a complete period. It really is. When you do something for your entire life, it becomes a core part of your identity.
Okay, last group for 4. This is physical states and objects.
Right. How long we've felt a certain way or owned something.
He has been sick for 2 days.
A simple 2-day period of sickness.
I have felt tired for days.
That feeling of exhaustion that just won't go away.
She has worn glasses for years.
It's a long-term part of her appearance.
I have loved this song for years.
That one song that never gets old for you.
We have discussed this topic for a while.
A vague but clear period of discussion.
They have practiced daily for weeks.
Showing their consistency over a duration.
She has been busy for the whole day.
The entire day is the duration.
He has been absent for 2 classes.
He's missed a specific number of classes.
She has read that book for hours.
It must be a really good book.
I have exercised for 30 minutes.
A short, focused workout, still a duration.
And the last. We have known the truth for a while.
That sounds like the line from a movie.
It really does. Okay, that's it. 50 sentences with 4. To our listener, deep breath. We are now crossing.
We are leaving the world of duration, of rulers and counting, and we are entering the world of starting points, the world of since.
Remember the rule, point your finger, point to that moment on the calendar. We'll start with the most obvious group, specific times and dates.
This is the natural habitat of since.
I have lived here since 2018.
The starting point is the year 2018.
She has studied English since January.
The starting point is the month of January.
They have worked together since last year.
Last year functions as a specific starting point in time.
He has been sick since Monday.
The sickness began on a specific day,
I have waited since 9 a.m.
pointing to a specific time on the clock.
We have waited since noon.
Another specific time of day.
We have stayed here since Friday.
The start of their stay was Friday.
He has driven since morning.
The action of driving started this morning.
I have exercised since breakfast.
I like this one. An event, breakfast, is being used as a time marker.
She has taught here since 2015.
Her career at this school started in 2015.
We have discussed this issue since last week.
The discussion started sometime last week.
She has been busy since this morning.
A very common thing to say.
He has lived abroad since 2019.
His life as an expat began in 2019.
They have trained since early morning.
Very specific. Not just morning, but early morning.
I have searched for the file since yesterday.
The search began yesterday and is still going.
He has saved money since last year.
He started a savings plan last year.
They have stayed silent since the announcement.
Ooh, this is interesting. The announcement is the event that triggered the silence.
I have been awake since midnight.
A long, sleepless night.
We have talked since dinner.
The meal was the starting point for the conversation.
He has been absent since Tuesday.
He was here Monday, but not since Tuesday.
I have looked for my keys since morning.
The frustrating search continues.
She has served here since 2008.
A long time. Her service started in 2008.
We have practiced speaking since last month.
The practice habit began last month.
He has been in the hospital since Sunday.
His admission was on Sunday.
I have stayed at home since the storm began.
Another event-based starting point. Very descriptive.
We have waited since the show started.
Waiting for the main act, maybe.
He has studied law since 2020.
His law school journey started in 2020.
They have planned this event since last winter.
A long planning process that started in a specific season.
I have worked here since April.
Your start month was April.
She has been online since 6 p.m.
The pattern is so clear, isn't it? Every single one points back to a precise starting moment.
It's so rhythmic once you get into it. Okay, final group. My favorite. Life events and life stages. This is where since tells a story.
This is where grammar becomes biographical.
We have known each other since childhood.
So much history, in that one short sentence. The starting point is an entire era of life.
She has practiced piano since she was 5.
Since she was 5 years old is a clause that acts as a perfect starting point.
They have been married since 2010.
We can use a specific year for a life event, too.
He has played football since high school.
High school was the beginning of his football career.
They have traveled together since college.
Their adventures began during their university.
She has read books since she was young.
It describes a lifelong habit that started at a certain life stage.
She has worn glasses since childhood.
Similar to the first one, a long-term state.
We have been friends since school days.
A lovely nostalgic way to describe a friendship's origin.
She has worked hard since she joined the company.
The moment of joining is the starting point.
They have lived in this city since birth.
That is the earliest possible starting point. You can't get any earlier than that.
She has cooked for the family since her marriage.
The life event that started a new responsibility.
He has driven carefully since the accident.
This one tells a powerful story. A negative event changed his behavior forever.
They have practiced yoga since last summer.
Their yoga journey began in that season.
I have loved this place since my childhood.
A deep emotional connection that has a starting point in the past.
He has worked remotely since the pandemic.
A sentence that millions of people can say now. The pandemic is a global time marker.
They have prepared for the exam since March.
Their prep started in March.
They have practiced daily since June.
A new habit that began in June.
I have used this laptop since 2022.
The start of your relationship with your computer.
I have felt tired since yesterday.
The tiredness has a clear beginning.
And the final sentence, number 100. We have known the truth since yesterday.
A very dramatic way to end the drill.
Wow. We did it. 100 sentences, 50 durations, 50 starting points.
It's a real workout for the brain, but I really hope that for our listeners, the difference is not just a rule anymore. I hope it's a feeling.
Exactly. When you hear for, you should expect a length of time. And when you hear since, you should be listening for the starting point.
That is the core of fluency. It's about prediction. Your brain starts to know what kind of information is coming next.
So let's wrap this all up. If one of our listeners is out there tomorrow speaking English and they say, I am living here since 2020, what should they do?
They should smile.
Yeah.
Seriously, a mistake is just proof that you're trying. If you catch it, correct yourself and just keep talking. Don't stop. Confidence is so much more important than perfection.
I love that. Build the bridge, walk across it, and if you trip, you just get back up and keep going.
That's it exactly. Speaking every day, even for a few minutes, is the only way to make it automatic.
Well, thank you so much for breaking this down so clearly today. I feel like I finally have a real handle on time.
It was my pleasure to navigate the fourth dimension.
And a huge thank you to you, our listeners, for sticking with us through that mega drill. You are amazing.
You really are.
Keep practicing, keep speaking, and see you in the next episode of Lucky English for Beginners.